Welcome back to a world lost to time. We travel to the early Cretaceous, 100 million years in the past. Here, in a vast primeval rainforest, a storm is gathering. The air grows heavy, and the first tentative drops of rain begin to fall, trembling on the tips of fern fronds. Above the canopy of giant conifers, clouds thicken, transforming the sky into a muted canvas of gray. The light drizzle becomes a steady, rhythmic patter. A herd of long-necked sauropods, titans of this ancient world, moves slowly through the awakening storm. Rain slicks their immense bodies, making their skin gleam like polished stone. On the forest floor, small streams weave through the undergrowth, carving new paths in the rich soil. A lone theropod, a formidable hunter, steps silently between the ferns, its powerful form half hidden in the mist. Water drips from its snout as it surveys its domain, undisturbed by the growing rain. High above, pterosaurs circle, their leathery wings growing damp as they navigate the strengthening wind. As the cool rain meets the warm earth, a soft, ethereal mist rises, blurring the edges of the forest. The dense foliage bends under the weight of the water, and a dim, tranquil twilight settles over the land as thick curtains of rain obscure the sun. The rain now falls with a steady, soothing persistence. Seeking refuge from the chill, the colossal sauropods cluster together beneath the sheltering branches of the towering trees. A theropod exhales, its warm breath visible as a fleeting cloud in the cold, wet air. Every raindrop that strikes the surface of a forest lake creates a cascade of expanding rings, 1,000 tiny temporary mandalas. The wind picks up, and wet leaves slap against each other in a gentle, percussive rhythm. Sensing the change, the pterosaurs abandon the skies, gliding down to find shelter among the craggy faces of nearby cliffs. Water streams along the exposed roots of ancient trees, nourishing the forest. A young sauropod shivers, its massive frame no match for the persistent cold of the heavy rainfall. Not far away, a pair of theropods stand close, sharing a dry patch of ground beneath a rocky overhang. The dense fog mingles with the rain, softening the silhouettes of distant trees and wrapping the world in a quiet hush. Water drips endlessly from the long tails of the herbivores, a constant reminder of the storm's presence. Heavy droplets pound onto the broad, waxy leaves of cycads, creating a sound like 1,000 tiny drums. A group of smaller dinosaurs, startled by the downpour, darts quickly across a clearing, seeking their own shelter. On their rocky ledge, the pterosaurs are now still, their magnificent wings folded tightly to conserve warmth. A large theropod shakes its head, sending a spray of water arcing through the air. The rain intensifies, and the sauropods lower their long necks, bowing to the storm's power. The forest paths transform into thick mud, capturing the deep impressions of dinosaur footprints before the rain washes over them. The entire forest seems to sway, its branches yielding to the wind-driven rain. Water pools on the delicate fronds of ferns, turning them into miniature reservoirs. The sound becomes a steady, unbroken rhythm, a natural lullaby echoing through the Cretaceous world. Now the heavens open completely. A torrential sheet of rain descends, reducing visibility across the valley to mere shadows. The theropods retreat deeper into their rocky shelters, finding what little protection they can from the deluge. The mighty sauropods huddle even closer, their immense bodies forming a living shield against the storm. Water gushes down the slopes in countless miniature waterfalls, reshaping the very landscape. On their ledges, the pterosaurs are drenched, their attempts to shake off the water futile against the relentless downpour. The rain hammers loudly on the broad leaves, a deafening but strangely calming roar. Every footstep is a heavy splash in the deepening mud, the sound swallowed by the storm. Mist rises from the dinosaurs' warm bodies as the cold rain hits them, shrouding them in a ghostly aura. A fallen branch, torn from a tree by the wind, floats along a newly formed, fast-flowing stream. The forest's smallest inhabitants, the insects, hide deep within the soaked vegetation. A large theropod stands unmoving, its dark scales glistening under the storm's fury. The sauropod herd is a fortress of solidarity, their heads tucked low, their long tails wrapped protectively inward. The pterosaurs crouch low, wrapping their wings around their bodies like cloaks. Sheets of rain cascade from cliff edges, creating ephemeral curtains of water. Small puddles merge, forming larger pools that reflect the dark, churning sky. The wind pushes the rain sideways, a horizontal assault across the clearing. A theropod blinks slowly, repeatedly, as water runs over its eyes. Muddy splashes climb the legs of the herbivores. The roar of the heavy rainfall is now the only sound, a constant, powerful presence. Huddled together, the pterosaurs hop closer, sharing what little warmth they have. A sauropod's massive body provides an unintentional shelter for smaller dinosaurs gathered beneath it. The delicate ferns are now flattened, surrendering to the unstoppable weight of the water. The peak of the storm has arrived, a world of thick rain, deep fog, and chilling air. The deluge subsides, but the storm is far from over. It settles into a long, continuous curtain of cold rain, a timeless, patient force. The dinosaurs, great and small, remain silent and still, conserving precious energy against the lingering chill. A small theropod curls up under a dense bush, seeking warmth in the sheltered dark. The sauropod's breath fogs the air, each exhalation a visible plume in the wet gloom. Water drips with a steady, hypnotic rhythm from the high branches overhead. A pterosaur carefully adjusts its footing on a slippery ledge, its claws gripping the wet stone. A large theropod has found its own refuge, sheltering patiently beneath a leaning tree. Though the rain has tapered, its presence is constant, a soft but persistent drumming on every surface. The still pools of water reflect the blurred silhouettes of the dinosaurs as they shift their weight. A gentle wind breathes through the forest, pushing the rain into a diagonal drift. Droplets form long trails down the dinosaurs' necks and tails, tracing the contours of their ancient forms. The sauropods stand shoulder to shoulder, a protective circle against the enduring cold. The pterosaurs sleep fitfully, their senses still alert even in rest. The moss on trees and rocks has become saturated, its color a deep, vibrant green. Water slides endlessly down smooth stone surfaces, a liquid caress. A theropod lifts its foot with deliberate slowness from the thick, sticky mud. The drumming of rain on the broad leaves creates a tapestry of calming natural rhythms. A pool of water around the roots of a giant tree grows ever deeper. The herbivores nudge each other gently, a silent communication of shared endurance and warmth. The forest feels suspended in time, caught within the endless moment of the rain. Faintly, through a momentary break in the clouds, droplets sparkle like tiny jewels. The storm is weakening, its energy finally beginning to wane. Slowly, gently, the rain recedes, the downpour slowing to a soft, whispering drizzle. The sauropods, cautious at first, begin to lift their massive heads, sensing the change in the air. The dinosaurs stretch their wings, testing the calmer atmosphere. Emerging from their shelter, the theropods step out into the clearing, their keen eyes scanning the refreshed world. The remaining drizzle sparkles in the first rays of returning sunlight, a diamond dust floating through the air. Water continues to drip from every leaf, every branch, a final echo of the storm. The mud on the ground reflects the clearing sky. A broken mirror of blue and white. Small puddles ripple as the last drops fall. The ferns, once flattened, slowly begin to stand upright again, releasing their watery burdens. All across the forest, the dinosaurs shake the lingering water from their bodies, their movements sending shimmering sprays into the sunlight. Glorious sunbeams pierce the last of the clouds, flooding the landscape with warmth and light. The sound of rain fades, replaced by the gentle music of dripping water. The sauropod herd begins to move, dispersing from their shelter to graze on the freshly washed vegetation. The theropods resume their patrols, their powerful strides confident on the damp earth. High above, the pterosaurs launch themselves from their rocky perches, soaring gracefully into the clear, calm air. The temporary streams shrink as the rainfall stops completely, and the wet ground begins to steam under the warmth of the sun. A soft, moist mist lifts from the forest floor, rising like a gentle spirit into the brightening sky. The great dinosaurs resume their timeless routines of feeding and roaming, their lives continuing as they have for millennia. The early Cretaceous forest glows, vibrant and renewed under the peaceful sun, its ancient life thriving once more. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you enjoyed this escape to another time, don't forget to like and subscribe for more adventures.